Bench can't get there. Here comes the cat. The cat surges through. Oh, 2016 is a year of the cat. American Pharaoh, a true American phenom. American Pharaoh, phenomenal in the Preakness, went all the way. Head to head, they're very close. Quarter, shoulder to shoulder, head to head, nose to nose. Greenhouse, Silvercharm, Captain Budget. Oh, it's close.
And hello, welcome to another edition of Laurel Park Weekly. It's Wednesday, August 16th. We're by the historic Laurel Park paddock. I'm Stanton Salter along with Ty Ellis. Tim Tulloch joining us here today. Dave Robin, he's up there at Saratoga for the EquestriaCon convention. So great to have Tim here and great to have Ty here. Now, did I get the date right? August is flying by. Is it really already August 16th?
Yes, it is.
Whew.
It is August 16th, and I think Dave Rodman's having a good time, too.
Dave's having a good time.
Yeah.
We're having a good time, and the summer's flying by, but we had a lot of action here last weekend, a lot of good action coming up here this weekend. Let's get right to it. First of all, both you guys have kids. How are the kids?
My kid's great.
Are they getting ready for school again?
More or less.
And yours?
Good.
You have two. You just have one.
Just one. She kept me from watching Saratoga on Monday, but that's all right. The trade-offs of being a parent.
All right. Well, let's get right to it. Let's show you about the big weekend here Saturday at Laurel Park. That's right, the big day of the summertime. This is like the Maryland Million of the summertime. This is going to be a huge day. We'll have a big crowd out here, kind of like a crowd we have out here on Maryland Million Day. It's Maryland Pride Day this Saturday. Maryland Racing, Maryland Food, Maryland Drink. Ty, this was a huge day last year, and we're expecting another big day this Saturday.
Massive day. Yeah, it's always fun, and then you get the partners of Jailbreak and Sagamore. Flying Dog's always been a great partner of ours, so people will come out. Hopefully we'll get great weather, and the apron will be packed.
Tim, what's your favorite down there with the Sagamore Spirit, the Jailbreak, Flying Dog, Tough Choice, all good adult beverages?
Yeah, well, I'm not too picky about my adult beverages, but I'll probably go with the Jailbreak, but they'll all get a little bit of my attention.
All right, and you get a free hat. Check this out. Everybody loves a free Maryland Jockey Club cap. You get one if you buy a program out here, and we'll have a nice program with all the Maryland bred stakes. 4 stake races this Saturday, 4 Maryland bred stakes. So some of the best Maryland breds around running this Saturday. So come on out here, buy a program, and you get a free, snazzy-looking Maryland Jockey Club cap. So that's all this Saturday for all you tournament players. We have one of the biggest tournaments of the year right here at Laurel Park this Saturday. It's the Champions Handicapping Tournament. Over 33,000 in prizes. You choose your berth. Also, it's a qualifying event for one of the big dances, the National Handicapping Championship, Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, and the big one. Ty, if you were to win this tournament, we're Maryland Jockey Club employees. We can't play in it. We can encourage all our friends to play in it, though. But let's say you were to win this, or one of your friends were to win this. What big tournament would you recommend them choosing?
San Diego. Go to Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge. Head down to Del Mar. Beautiful setting down there. And the big one also, that's up here that we have that host out here at Laurel. You don't have to leave. You can stay at your own home. Those are two of my favorites.
Tim, what do you think your best tournament strategy would be? A little bit here and there on several different horses, or would you make a big plunge all on one horse?
No, it'd be a little bit here. Spread it out a little bit here
Okay.
and there. Yeah, big plunges are tricky.
That can be dangerous, and if you spread it out, you have fun for the afternoon. It's going to be in the sports bar, second floor of the clubhouse, right, Ty?
Yeah, correct. It's up there in the sports bar. We had the big one up there last year, and everybody loved it. It's perfect tournament setting.
All right, so a big tournament here this Saturday at Laurel Park. Go to laurelpark.com for more information and details and how to sign up for the Champions Handicapping Tournament and all the information about Maryland Pride Day. Several great press releases on the Laurel Park website about all the horses running this Saturday. So our media relations team doing a great job getting all the information out to you, the fans. So go to laurelpark.com to learn about all the stakes and and the handicapping tournament this Saturday. Okay, also Sunday brunch coming up for you this Sunday. Always the best bet of the week, Sunday brunch here at Laurel Park. Noon to 4 in the Garden Terrace, $22 a person. You can get all, you can drink mimosas and Bloody Marys as well. So don't forget about Sunday brunch right here at Laurel Park. You can enjoy it in the Garden Terrace. Tips right there by the track side. You can go up there on the second floor of the clubhouse. That's a sports bar with all the big screen TVs up there. So Sunday brunch, always fun this Sunday. Let's show you what the Pick 6 carryover is tomorrow. Friday kicks off the 3-day race weekend here at Laurel Park. A little over 3,800 in that Rainbow Pick 6. We have a bunch of big fields tomorrow, a bunch of big fields on the world-class turf course. So don't forget about that Pick 6 tomorrow. 11 race cars tomorrow, don't we? Yes, 11 races. So Pick 6 will start race 6 tomorrow on Friday. Nice little carryover over 3,800. Hey, after this week and after this Sunday, where do we go? We go to the Big T. They call it the York Road Spa. It's the Saratoga of the South. Live thoroughbred horse racing and simulcasting. I believe it's the only state fair this side of the Mississippi that still has horse racing. So a lot of fun up there. A family fun time at the fair. I believe it's 11 best days of the summertime, 7 days of live racing up there at the Big T.
Yeah, it's the only fair east of the Mississippi that still runs thoroughbreds, and it's gone by here, and it's a lot of fun. Bring your kids and have some fun.
You grew up at the fair tracks up in New England, right?
I did.
And you won some races at Timonium, right?
I won some races at Timonium. Timonium's always been very good to me.
Always fun to win with the Ferris wheel in the background.
And it's fun for the fans, too. You're right on top of the racetrack. They got that beautiful open paddock. And I think it's more for the fans. You're right there on top, and you get really up close and personal with a lot of the horses.
And the jockeys come walking back through the crowd, just kind of like they do up at Saratoga. They give the little kids goggles and stuff like that. So mark your calendar for the Big T, and there's going to be some good racing there this summer. The purses are up. The purses are almost $200,000 a day. There's going to be a $75,000 stake race, $100,000 if you're a Maryland bred. It's $110,000 if you're a Maryland bred and you went through the Tipton sale. So that's going to be a major league stake race. That's on Travers Day. It opens the Friday before Travers. We're going to have a nice reception, kind of like a gala ball that Friday night up there at the Grandstand Grill. And then the stake race on Saturday, Travers Day. So we're looking forward to the Big T. That's coming up. But we're going to get to a big weekend here to close off this summer meet here at Laurel Park. And if you ever wonder where all these horses come from, well, they're just like us. They come from their mom on a farm. They're bred, the breeding industry, the backbone of horse racing, and it's enjoying a nice resurgence right now here in Maryland. We were lucky enough a couple days ago to get out to Maryland Farm up there in northern Baltimore County, and we caught up with a nice special mare in foal up there. Let's show you the action at Maryland Farm. This was a couple days ago. We saw a mare up there by the name of Rock Hard and Noble by Rock Hard 10, and she just had her first Maryland bred foal, a foal by Frisian Fire. Let's show you the action up there at Maryland Farm.
Well, he's a big boy. You can see Mom's a really big mare. She's about 17 hands, and he's by Frisian Fire, who throws a big foal, too. So he's a big, rangy colt, but he's an April foal, and I usually don't like to wean till they're 5 months old. So probably in September we'll wean him. He's also the first foal for her. So she might have a little harder time than some with letting go. Usually I like to wean them in the field, and the fields that they're used to being in with the friends they're used to having. And we'll just go out in the morning, we'll take temperatures, make sure everybody's good and not catching anything or coming down with something. And then we'll just take the mares out of the field and leave the babies in the field. And usually I'll leave one or two mares with the youngest foals in there as babysitters. Or if it's the last group to be weaned, I'll bring in an older mare that we have here that's maybe barren and not enfolding it for next year and put her out with them to be a babysitter. They're so independent by then, and they just want to play with their friends, so they don't have a hard time with it at all.
All right, good stuff. Farm manager Christy Holden, very busy at Country Lake Farm and Maryland Farm with all the babies. Kim, talk about this guy's little personality. You have a nickname for him?
I do. I call him Little Rocky, or Rocky 6, because he has a little 6 on his forehead. He is a ham. He loves being handled, and he's very soft and lovable, and he's very curious and into everything, as you can see.
Got something to say, Rocky? All right, so a spry little guy out there at Maryland Farm. Big thanks to Christy Holden, the general manager of Country Life in Maryland Farms, and also the broodmare manager, Kim Crow, who is handling the foal. The foal's by Frisian Fire, who's one of the top sires in the Mid-Atlantic area. That's a big, good-looking mare by Rock Hard 10, who ran in the Preakness. She was a runner herself. I believe she made a bunch of money, 6 figures. She won a bunch of nice allowance races up at Park. She's owned by Sal Sinatra, our president and general manager, and this is going to be a cool project. We're going to follow this little guy by Frisian Fire all the way until he runs, so it'll be fun watching him grow up. You've trained for horses, for owners that breed horses as well, and it's tough, but it's kind of like raising kids, and then you see him run one day. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely, and this will be a fun project. Watching him go through all his training and weaning, and then a yearling and all of that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it will be an interesting aspect that a lot of the business and the industry that people don't normally see.
And you heard Christy Holden talking about the weaning process. That's going to happen for this little guy in about a month, early September. So next time we go up there, I believe it'll be in October. In the fall, it'll be beautiful up there. The little guy will be called a weanling at that time. You'll have to bring the twins up and tie. You'll have to bring Avery up. They'll love the little guy up there.
It is a really cool what you're doing there, because I didn't grow up on a racetrack or on a farm, so I don't know that side of the business. And you get a lot of people that come here every day that don't know that side, and they're learning, following, and Mr. Sinatra's been generous enough to let us do that.
So thanks to the Ponds family, Mike and Josh Ponds up there at Country Life Farm. You can catch out all this action. Go to our Maryland Racing YouTube page, and there's a whole big clip, about 8 minutes of video of the mare and foal running around up there at Maryland Farm. So some cool stuff. Check it out at laurelpark.com or on our YouTube page. So let's get to all the action. We had a huge weekend last Saturday here at Laurel Park. We are off the turf, but we still had some great racing. The handle was up. We had 2 stake races here at Laurel Park. Lots of races, so we'll show you the local recap, and then we'll show you a national recap as well. But let's get right to it here for the local recap. Divining Rod, how good is this horse right now? Oh, man, let's show you him in the Polynesian. This was his first race since November of 2016. He was good as a 3-year-old. He was 3rd behind American Pharoah in the Preakness. He was good last year as a 4-year-old, and he might be better than ever right now as a 5-year-old. He gets a look out. Here I come, a 105 Beyer speed figure winning this race. I think he's going to go either to the Kelso or, according to Phil Janak from our media team, if he comes out of this race really good, maybe the 4-go at Saratoga. But big things to come for Divining Rod. How impressive was that win, Tim?
Oh, it was really, really impressive. Daniel Santino had a ton of horse going down the backside. His hands were 6 inches off his neck, and we dropped his hands at the quarter pole, and Divining Rod was like, dude, what's taking you so long? And really impressive effort, and a really, really wonderful training job and preparation by Arno Delacour.
He's going to step up to either the 4-go or the Kelso next time. I think we'll get a price on him, or you think he's going to be maybe one of the favorites when he steps back up to Grade 1 company after watching that win?
This was impressive, and you mentioned the 105 Beyer number, Stan. But I do think this horse can compete up at Saratoga. You're going to get with those caliber of horses, you're going to get a generous price up there. And with the way that this horse won this race, the sky's the limits, really, especially if you keep going around one turn, I think.
All right, so Arnaud Delacour, what a meet he's having. He's about 50% winners this summer. He gets to win there with Divining Rod for the Jacksons of Lael Stables. So that was one. That was the Polynesian Stakes last Saturday. The other stakes was Twix for filly and mares 3 and up, going 7 furlongs, and we knew this filly was good. She's a 3-year-old filly by Malibu Moon. We knew she was very good. She won the Ama North last out, but this was her first major test going against older filly and mares against Stakes Company. But Shimmering Aspen, she answered the test, and she got a 98 Beyer winning this race. Very impressive for Steve Hamilton and Rodney Jenkins in Hillwood Stable.
What impressed me the most about this filly in this race was, yes, going against quality older mares, but her maturity she showed in this race. She rated him on the inside behind horses, and I wasn't sure she was capable of doing that earlier in her career because she was a free-running filly, but the maturity she showed and the way she popped at the finish, what a really nice race. And sky's the limit, like Ty said with Divining Rod. It's just it's a matter of time. Every race is going to get tougher for her from here on in, but she might be up to the task.
Yeah, the Black-Eyed Susan was a little too tough. with those conditions. You know, it was their first time going 9 furlongs in a Grade 2. The skies opened up before the race. The track was sloppy, but after winning 2 stakes here at Laurel Park, getting her confidence way up, I think she's good enough maybe to step up to back up to graded company. What do you think, Ty?
I think a lot of the biggest question going into this race was how she was going to face Olders, because she had always just faced her 3-year-old. Stepped up, won impressively, and this was no pushover field. You had a couple really good horses in here. Sweet on Smokey has won a couple stakes races, and Milo was a good horse too. So, and she, Shimmering Aspen won pretty much in hand. I'd like to see what she can do on a fast track. She's been catching the good, the sloppy the last 3 or 4 races, but we have a special filly on our hands here at Laurel Park.
All right, so 2 very impressive stakes winners last Saturday. Shimmering Aspen with the 98 buyer in the Twix, and Divining Rod with a 105 in the Polynesian. Good-looking filly. Debut winner also. When was it? This was last Friday. Maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies, going 5.5 furlongs on the Fort Marcy turf course. And I tell you what, Dove Houghton, a very good horse person. She used to be an assistant trainer for Tony Dutrow. She's been around here for a long time. She's having a great summer meet, and she gets to win here with this first-time starter by Einstein. Wisegal, a $38 winner last Friday with Steve Hamilton aboard. This homebred for the Worth family, longtime Maryland owners and breeders. By Einstein out of a Not for Love mare. Very impressive debut win here, Tim.
Very impressive debut win. And Lake Geneva, the horse she beat there and wore down, 3 wide in the lane, wore downs by Tisnow out of a Stormcat mare. So that filly was cut out to be a nice horse. Wisegal, little filly, but small but mighty, and it was a really, really nice race.
And Dove Houghton actually trained the dam of this horse, and she won the Conniver. Of course, that horse that's on the dirt. So it was interesting to see that they debuted her on the turf here, but it was an impressive and especially at a good price.
Well, and Einstein, I believe he won stake races on the turf, dirt, and the synthetic. I
yes.
believe so. So a good-looking filly there. Keep your eye on Wisegal. We will see where she goes next. We also had a nice allowance winner. This was on Sunday, and we might. This is my prediction. Maybe this horse goes to the Coalition Stakes at Timonium, because this 4-year-old Maryland bred's in top form right now. By Mineshaft, this is his third win in a row, and this was a big, tough 2 other than allowance test. Alex Centron aboard for Mike Trombetta. This is a nice homebred for Larry Johnson. I think this 4-year-old is finding his best stride right now, and he might be good enough for stakes company after that win.
Oh, he's definitely finding his best stride right now. He ran 109 and change. He beat a nice horse in Negrito, and this horse has certainly found the good foot. He's a winner of 3 in a row right now. His last 6 races has been really, really good. So this horse is certainly going in the right direction. We could see him at the Big T.
Bayard 90 right there, and has been in that 90 range the last 3 races. So something clicked with him finally, and Trombetta's got him on all cylinders, and he keeps that progression of in the 90 in that Bayer speed figure range. This horse you could see winning the stake at Timonium you had mentioned. Is going to be a player if he goes.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun stake, I think, at Timonium, and it'd be great to see It's Journey in there. And so congratulations to Trombetta. He's having a great meet. So is Alex Centron, and great to see our Larry Johnson with a nice homebred. He's put a lot into this game, a long-time owner and breeder, and gets the money there with It's Journey. Nice allowance feature last Sunday. That's the local recap. Guys, let's get a quick commercial break. That's all the action from Laurel last week. And when we come back, we'll show you the big national races from all over the country. Let's get a quick commercial break. Okay, welcome back. Laurel Park Weekly. I'm Stanton Salter, Tim Tulloch, Ty Ellis. It's August 16th, believe it or not. We're flying through August. We just showed you all the big local races from last week, and let's do a national recap here. Big weekend out there in Chicago. It was Arlington Million, I believe the first $1 million race in this country. A historic race. John Henry won it. Top turf runners throughout history have won this race. And Beach Patrol, the winner of this year's Arlington Million, Ty, take us through the stretch here.
Beach Patrol, you got Deauville, who's down on the rail, who actually I thought was going to be home here. Beach Patrol wrangled him in late. Chad Brown, again, we see Chad Brown won with Desita earlier on the card. We're not going to show that, but a Breeders' Cup win and you're in. Beach Patrol likes to hang a little bit, but won impressively here. A nice feather in the cap for the horse. And Chad Brown, he doesn't need any more Grade 1 wins, but he's got another Breeders' Cup contender right there.
Yeah, nice race from Beach Patrol. And the course was really kind of playing to his style, and we'll see it in the Secretariat also laid close. The course was playing a little quick or laying close, and it worked for Beach Patrol, and that was a nice race.
He's a 4-year-old. He's by Lemon Drop Kid, one of my favorite sires, probably because I was at the Belmont when Lemon Drop Kid pulled off the big upset. And he's gone on to be a very nice sire, and he has a nice Grade 1 winner here with Beach Patrol. Young 4-year-old. He could be even better as a 5-year-old, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He's got to be. He's the top of the turf division right now.
Absolutely, and a lot of these horses get better when they're 5, and he could be one of them. It's Chad Brown, and what can you say?
He's having a good life, Chad Brown. Let's talk
To
about
say the least.
Let's talk about the Secretariat Oscar performance. Nice winner here in the Grade 1 Secretariat. Jose Ortiz aboard for Brian Lynch, just a 3-year-old Ridgeling by Kitten's Joy. Take us through the stretch here, Ty.
Yeah, Beach Patrol in the past, especially in the Belmont Derby, had things a lot on his own way. Today had a little bit more pace presence up top. You had a good horses, you had some good shippers coming in, but this was impressive. The horse at the 8th pole just put the other pace setter away and then blew away, almost rebroke, and this is another horse, the sky's the limit. I mean, winning by open lengths on turf, good firm turf fields, and Breeders' Cup in the future for him.
Yeah, that's now 2 Grade 1s in a row for the 3-year-old Oscar Performance out of a theatrical mare. So big things to come from Oscar Performance. Let's talk about the 4-star Dave up there at the Spa, World Approval. We know this horse, our Dixie winner this year at Pimlico. Great to see him go up there and win the 4-star Dave, a Grade 1 at Saratoga. This guy won a Grade 1 last year and now gets another Grade 1 win as a 5-year-old.
Good for the Cassies. There was a good picture on Twitter of Mark and they were hugging and a good. Anyway, there was a deluge. I don't know if anybody saw the rain. There was some delays before this race, and the turf was really heavy. But World Approval sure took to it well. I would almost toss a line through a lot of the other horses in there. World Approval just took to the surface. It was a good win. I think maybe put an asterisk next to it, though.
Very versatile horse. Yielding turf course there in the 4-star Dave. It was a good turf course in the Dixie that he won, the United Nations that he won last year. That was on a good turf course as well. So, yeah, anytime you have a little cut in the grass, look out for World Approval in these graded stakes.
Absolutely, and some of these horses appreciate that kind of cut in the ground, and he certainly does. And I was a little disappointed. Were there many scratches once it rained?
There weren't a cut. There weren't many that came off, surprisingly.
Right. Well, I was surprised that it's a Grade 1 $500,000 race, and whether the races fell oddly on the weekend in a 6-horse field. And one of those horses was a filly. So I don't know. Grade 1 with a 6-horse field at Saratoga is just a little light for me.
Our Beach Patrol, he might be up here after winning Arlington Million, but World Approval, he's not too far below. He's having
not bad. No, it's just I think some of the other contenders in there, like Time Test, Disco Partner, who would run really impressive, just didn't take to the turf. So that's why I say there's a Nash. It was a really good win by World Approval.
Right.
I just don't think some of the other horses took to the ground.
All right, so that was the 4-star Dave up there. Let's go back to August 9th up there in the quick call. Our main man, Phil Schoenthal, he's having a big summer, and he almost got the money up there with Expedited Vision. Very, very strong effort. In front, Turner for home, just gets beat. What do you think here, guys?
Phil Schoenthal, Renaissance man, and this was a great race. Just perfectly ridden by Sheldon Russell. Good hand ride, strong ride through the stretch, and just got it hung on him. But this is a nice horse, and this was a big race.
That's a winning race right there. Just the horse that won was just a little bit better. The tables could turn in the future, but good to see these local horses. I saw Expedited Vision was nominated this weekend, obviously not running in our stakes races, but when you have Maryland-bred, Maryland-sired horses running up at the Spa in competitive races up there, that's a good thing for the program.
Yeah, 3-year-old Maryland bred by Hanson out of a Sky Mesa mare, bred by the McGinnises over there on the Eastern Shore. He broke his maiden here, maiden special weight sprinting on the turf, and then won a nice allowance race sprinting on the dirt here at Laurel, and then a good second against Stakes Company sprinting on the turf up there at Saratoga. You had a couple good turf sprinters throughout. Your Yankee Wildcat, I think, was one of them, and they're like the Routers as well. They get better with age, and they hang around for a long time.
Yeah, and this horse here, he got hurt as a 2-year-old and had to take some time off, but Phil Schoenthal thought this was a nicer horse than LL Reeb when they were 2-year-olds.
Oh,
So
wow.
this is a serious little horse, and it's going to be exciting moving forward.
All right, so that was Expedited Vision in the quick call. Sagamore Farm and trainer Horacio De Paz, they continue to roll up there at the spa and down here in Maryland. We're rooting on them up there at Saratoga, and we're rooting on Southampton Way in the Grade 2 Adirondack. A good effort, a good second to a sharp Todd. Was it Todd Pletcher winner? Yeah, Todd Pletcher winner, I believe a Todd Pletcher winner, or a Steve Asmussen winner. But yeah, let's watch the replay.
Todd Pletcher.
Todd Pletcher.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yep.
what I thought. All right. Well, he's pretty tough up there everywhere. But Southampton away a good second in the Adirondack, Ty.
Yeah, I wasn't the win, the break, the maiden was impressive. I was never high on this horse until I saw that horse. The win, 2 back on the maiden, really proved me wrong with a good second here in this race. Obviously, Pure Silver, who won going away. Todd Pletcher, you mentioned, that was a New York bred horse. I'm still a little lukewarm on this horse going in the future, but it's a Sagamore. They had a nice win on Monday, you guys alluded to. So it's good to see local connections going up.
Yeah, the
north.
Pletcher filly here, Pure Silver. Here we go. And, that filly's undefeated. She's by Mission Impassable. She's undefeated. But Southampton Way, I think, a good rally to be second there. She's by Into Mischief. Maybe she wants to go longer down the road.
Well, maybe, and you're absolutely right. That was a good rally to be second. That's a serious horse that beat her Pure Silver, like you mentioned, undefeated. And you know, some of those horses just breathe a little bit different air when they're coming out of the Todd Pletcher barn as
And Chad
young,
Brown.
as 2-year-olds, especially 2-year-olds at Saratoga for Todd, because he points to Saratoga. That's his meat, and he wants to own it for a long time, and he probably will.
Oh, it's Sagamore Farm also had Barry Lee in the Saratoga Special. He got cooked early with the half and 44 and change. He got beat by a more seasoned horse. The Asmussen horse won that race. How do you regroup after that? A nice horse with talent won here, open links, and then kind of a tough day up there in the Saratoga Special. How do you regroup with a horse like that?
Well, it's tough. The race was run ridiculously fast, and you just got to bring him home. Bounce back, try to find a nice little layout of the end for him, get his confidence back, and something like that. Don't overface him next time. Give him something that he can probably win, and find the easiest field you can for him, and he'll bounce back. But it was just so fast. He just had no chance, none, zero.
And Sagamore Farm had a big Monday up there. They won with Happy Farm, and that's a Happy Farm out there in Glendon. They're having a good meet. That was their third winner Monday up there with Happy Farm. So up there at Saratoga, you win 3 races for the meet well. Sagamore is a big outfit, but Horacio De Paz with a small string of horses up there. That's pretty good to win 3 races.
The flag will be raised at the farm up there for a while.
Yep.
Oh, even the big guys up there hate to leave Saratoga with a goose egg. So they've got their 3, and they can leave happy if nothing else happens from here on in.
All right, let's get a quick commercial break. That's the national recap. We have 4 stake races this Saturday here for Maryland Pride Day. We'll talk about all those and also a national recap right after this. Welcome back, Laurel Park Weekly. It's Wednesday, August 16th. We're by the historic Laurel Park paddock. I'm Stanton Salter, Tim Tulloch, Ty Ellis. We showed you all the big action from last week, and now we're going to get into this coming week in a big Saturday. This Saturday, August 19th, it's Maryland Pride Day. We're going to have 4 Maryland bred stakes with some of the top Maryland breds around in those races. Also, some great Maryland food, some great Maryland drink with Sagamore Spirit, Jailbreak, Flying Dog. Also, the Champions Handicapping Tournament here this Saturday. For more information on all of that, go to laurelpark.com and check it out. Let's get right into the races. The Fine Stakes, the All Brandy, the Star de Nascar, and the Miss Disco. That's what's on tap this Saturday. Let's start here with the Fine Stakes. One of my favorite horses in Maryland, the 6-year-old Flash Phelps. He's a Maryland-bred turf champion. This was his win in the Mr. Diz, his one and only start this year as a 6-year-old. He's won the Maryland Million Turf the last 2 years. Rodney Jenkins has done a great job managing him. I think he's in good form right now. I think he'll handle these Maryland breds pretty comfortably here in the Fine. He's got to go against Talk Show Man, but here comes Talk Show Man on the outside, but Flash Phelps just beats Talk Show Man here in the Mr. Diz. It'll be good to see him hook back up again in the Fine.
Yeah, I think I like Flash Phelps. I think he'd be a little vulnerable here. He's only had one start this year, going 3/4 of a mile. He has to go 1.8 miles this weekend, and if you look at when I'm looking at his workouts, he's only worked twice since that race, so he could be a little vulnerable here. I still like him. He still has the best body of work.
Yeah, I like the versatility. The last race in the Mr. Diz might have been a prep after that long layoff, so stretching out to 1 1/8 now or 9 furlongs. Probably with this horse, what Flash Phelps wants to do a little bit more.
So Flash Phelps, a 6-year-old by Great Notion out of a Not for Love mare. He's made almost $400,000. He's a 6-year-old. How about the 7-year-old, who's also by Great Notion? Talk Show Man out of the Haymaker mare. Trainer Hammy Smith has done a nice job managing this horse. He's made over $360,000. It had been a long time since he won the Henry S. Clark way back in April of 2015, and he finally gets back to the winner's circle July 22nd here at Laurel. It's a nice win against Open Allowance Company, going 1 mile on a good turf course. Good to see Talk Show Man. Here he comes on the outside. Good to see him back in winning form.
It was really good to see, and Hammy had done an excellent job of preparing this horse for that race. Beat a nice horse in Marengo Road. But you know, this horse, he's just a little spotty for me through his whole career. You know, he'll throw you a clunker from time to time, showing 3 really good work since his last race, and has raced closer to this race than Flash Phelps. So it's going to be an interesting race to watch.
Ty, who do you take, the 7-year-old Talk Show Man or the 6-year-old Flash Phelps?
Flash Phelps. Yeah, I think Flash Phelps. I'm with Tim on this. Talk Show Man is a bit spotty for me, and he's run well his last couple races, but you look at the whole body of work before then, and I don't know if the screws weren't tightened as tight as possible, but I'm all over Flash Phelps.
All right, so we're talking about the Fine Stakes this Saturday. We know Flash Phelps and Talk Show Man is entered in there. They take entries for this race today. The overnight will be out later this afternoon. I know Tiz the Runner's also in there. Do you have anybody else in the Fine?
Ghost Bay, How's Your Sugar, No Bull Addiction, Flash Phelps, Talk Show Man, Tiz the Runner, and English Minister is what's entered in there right now.
Okay, all right, so that's a good field. That's 2, 5, 7 entered in there right now. Maybe they get another 1 or 2. That'll be a nice field in the Fine Stakes this Saturday. Let's also talk about the All Brandy Stakes. And we told you Sagamore Farm having a big summer up there at Saratoga with trainer Horacio De Paz, and they could have a big Saturday here at Laurel Park with the Maryland-bred D. Marquis. It's been a while since we've seen her. Let's show you her win. This was back in June of 2016 against Maryland-bred First Level Allowance Company, going 2 turns on the turf at Pimlico. She's coming off a long layoff. She's been working on the Tapeta surface up there at Sagamore Farm in Glendon, Maryland. What do you think, Tim, here? D. Marquis coming off a long layoff in the All Brandy.
Well, anytime you come off a long layoff, it's a tall order. She's had a series of decent works, but we're talking over a year since she's ran last. Horacio De Paz, I wouldn't put it past him. He does a great job, but it's going to be a tall order, no question about it.
I've always liked this horse, Ty, and I think I see some nice works up there at Sagamore. I think she'll be ready to go here to handle Maryland Bred Company in the All Brandy.
Definitely has the ability, if you look back on the past form, just the long layoff you guys touched on, and he's adding that 9 furlongs. Has never gone that far before. That might be a little bit tough, might need a little bit more foundation underneath the race under the belt, but if this horse can run to the ability and potential, could be really tough.
So both the Find and the All Brandy, they're going long on the turf. We have a couple other Maryland bred sprint races on the dirt for straight 3-year-olds. Let's talk about the Star to NASCRA for straight 3-year-olds, Maryland breds, and trainer Hammy Smith bringing a horse off a layoff by Bulls Bay. Great Bulls of Fire out of a Great Notion mare. This horse, a lot of talent as a 2-year-old. This is him winning the Maryland Juvenile Fraternity by 6 lengths with Alex Cintron aboard. He also won a stake race at Delaware as a 2-year-old. He won the Maryland Million Nursery as well, so he's a 3-time stakes winner. Great Bulls of Fire coming off the layoff for Hammy Smith, hopefully this Saturday in the Star to NASCRA.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to get a horse ready to run short off a layoff than long like the other filly, DeMarquis. But Hammy's good at this. The horse has got some decent works underneath it coming into this race. It's probably a pretty decent spot to come back in. Really doesn't really have any other kind of conditions to go in. So this might work for this horse.
I agree. Going to probably put on the lead. The horse is going to be tough. Has run on dirt, turf, you name it. Ran second to Caribou Cub, which was Tom Proctor, who brought that horse over to Del Mar, who ran really well at Del Mar. And this in Great Bulls of Fire ran second to Caribou Club. So the horse can step up, compete against much tougher in here. I'm with you guys on a long layoff. It's always tough. But going 6, Tim, you were the trainer, and should be good to go. I think speed is probably going to be this horse's best weapon, too.
Absolutely.
All right, so Great Bulls of Fire in the Star to NASCAR. Let's talk about the Miss Disco for Maryland bred 3-year-old filly sprinting on the dirt. And everybody loves crab cakes for trainer Bernie Houghton. 3-year-old filly by Great Notion. I'll tell you what, Great Notion, up-and-coming stallion here in Maryland, stands up there in Cecil County at Northview Stallion Stations. This horse bred by Bernie's Aunt Benny Houghton, who sadly passed away earlier this week. She was a long-time Maryland owner and breeder, bred a bunch of nice horses, a bunch of nice stakes horses. And how about this 3-year-old filly, crab cakes? Everybody loves crab cakes.
Everybody loves crab cakes. And if you go back to her last race, there was this fleeting moment where she looked like she was going to give Shimmering Aspen everything she could handle, got beat 5 lengths to her. But that was a huge race, that last race in the Alma North. I thought in one of her nicest races in defeat. So she could be very, very tough here.
Ty?
No, tough to beat. Have you heard, is Ascertain going in this race, Ascertain's the Bill Mott horse,
I don't
Judd
know.
Mott.
When actually, I have it right here, actually. In the I got the my man Phil Janak sent me this earlier. The Miss Disco, yes, right now Ascertain is in there. Crab Cakes, Le Weekend, and Troublesome in the Miss Disco. Let's go back to the Star de NASCAR. And do we have it in the Star de NASCAR? I think actually no, that's the one that might be. Okay. The Star de NASCAR is they're working on that. So good luck to the racing office. They do a great job filling these stake races. The Miss Disco, All Brandy, and the Fine Stakes looking pretty good, and they're working on the Star de NASCAR. We know Great Bulls of Fire is in the Star de NASCAR, and Crab Cakes in the Miss Disco. So 4 Maryland bred stakes here this Saturday. It's going to be a great Saturday. It'll be a big local crowd out here. We'll be packed, kind of like Maryland Million Day. You'll have all the breeders and stuff out here. Looking forward to a big crowd here Saturday.
Oh, absolutely, and it's always fun, so we hope everyone joins us.
And Ty, where are you going to be Saturday? Tournament or paddock or where?
I'll probably be all of the above.
All of the above.
Around, yeah, and it's kind of a Maryland Million preview day. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people come out, and the weather should be beautiful. I looked up, so apron should be packed.
Oh, all right, good stuff. Yeah, we're due with some good weather for sure. Okay, that's the local preview. Let's show you what's going on the national scene. A lot of big races coming up this week, and of course, you can watch all the simulcast action right here in our nice facilities at Laurel Park or one of the OTBs around the state. Let's talk about the national previews. Arrogate, he's one of the world's best horses. He won the Pegasus World Cup, the Dubai World Cup. He threw a clunker last out over there in Del Mar. But this is his win here in the Dubai World Cup.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple. I mean, I'm sure everybody's looked at the replay. Started dead last year after getting shut off and broke a little bit slow. And Mike Smith did a masterful job of not rushing the horse, just letting him settle. And then you see here, he's just gobbling up grounds, about 3 lengths stride to every other horse in here. Oh, the runner-up was Gun Runner, who just ran away with the Whitney, by the way. So this horse didn't run well. I don't know what happened, but if he runs back to this, should be about 1-9.
Tim, what do you think happened to him in the Grade 2 San Diego, his first start after winning this Dubai World Cup? You think it was a little Dubai hangover, or what happened? He ran awful. He was 1-9. He was 4th beaten 15 lengths.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these real long layoffs. Never have been. I think racing is better than training. And Bob Baffert had to really put the screws to this horse going in. He never looked happy in the San Diego. Going down the backside, he's getting outrun. His ears are flat back down on his neck. He looked light in his hind end when he was going in the starting gate. But you have to understand what Bob Baffert did for this horse going in this race. 6:25, 3/4 in 112. He came back in 6 days. 3/4 in 112, back in 6 days. 7/8 in 125, back in 6 days. 3/4 in 111. Those are huge, fast works, and that horse just acted like he'd had a little bit of enough. This time coming in this race, 2 half-mile works, a moderate 7/8. I think we're going to see the real Arrogate, but it won't surprise me if we don't.
It's going to be a tough race in the Pacific Classic. He's going to have to go against some monsters. But what do you think, Arrogate? You think he gets back to the winner's circle out there?
I do. And what's good for if you're a gambler, you're going to get a decent price on the horse because you might even get even money. He's even to money on the morning line. Collected Drew in, who ran in the Preakness a couple years back, is 5-2. But with that clunker that he threw last time, you're going to get even to money, maybe even 4-5, which isn't terrible on a horse that, in my opinion, should be 1-9.
All right, well, he's going to have to face Accelerate. Let's take a look here at Accelerate. This was the horse that won the Grade 2 San Diego, so he just beat Arrogate. So if Arrogate's not on his A game, this horse in good form, we know, after this last win here in the Grade 2. Accelerate by Preakness winner, looking at lucky for trainer John Sadler.
And this was a romp. I mean, the horse won by 8. It helps that obviously Arrogate didn't finish in the money. There was really no other competition in there. So I would go back with caution on this race, but it was definitely an impressive win.
All right, so that's going to be that was Accelerate. Who you're betting? Who do you bet? Accelerate or Arrogate in there?
Well, I'm not giving up on Arrogate. No shot I'm going to give up on Arrogate. But, this race, Accelerate, it was a nice race. And like Ty said, it was a romp. You have to go all the way back to September of 16 last year to see where this horse won the last time this horse won. So this horse is capable of not running to his best. He got to be 15 lengths the start before. So, I think after Arrogate didn't show up, just fell into somebody's hands who was doing pretty good and happened to fall into Accelerate's hands. I don't put a whole lot of stock in San Diego.
Okay. All right. Well, another big race out there this weekend at Del Mar, the Del Mar Oaks. Let's show you Madame Dance-A-Lot. You have to love the name, Madame Dance-A-Lot, for trainer Richard Baltus. Nice win in the Grade 2 San Clemente. This was her last start at Del Mar, and I believe this was her first start here in the U.S., right, Ty?
No, she'd actually run quite a bit. Santa Anita.
Santa Anita, my bad. Santa Anita, okay.
And you're seeing here, she really just picked up stride at the quarter pole, and you see this with these nice turf fillies. They just have this perfect turf motion. Hasn't even switched leads right here as we're seeing. Hits her once, and then she just is gone like that. Really hadn't been bet, was 21-1 that race, so I think that was a little bit of a surprise with a bit of a setup. But if Madame Dance-A-Lot can get that pace that she got the last race, could be dangerous.
Well, and that's the key. She got a huge pace to run at in her last race, 110, 122, 134 and change for the mile. She had a lot of pace to run at. She's going to need that again, and I don't know if she'll get it. The win, to me, looked a little bit more impressive than it was because she had so much pace to run at, and they were just going super fast.
She was a Group 3 winner as a 2-year-old over there in Ireland where she was bred, and now she's a Grade 2 winner here in America. So Madame Dance-A-Lot going to be tough in the Del Mar Oaks. How about New Money Honey? That's going to be one of the rivals in the Del Mar Oaks. Chad Brown, well, he's got another good one here. Let's show you New Money Honey's win. This was in the Grade 1 the Belmont Oaks up there at Belmont. July 8th.
Yeah, this is a good win, and I think if she ships out, I haven't seen the entries yet, but if she ships out here, she's probably going to be the favorite because there's another race at Saratoga for 3-year-old fillies that day also. They might keep her out east. I haven't seen yet, but that's an impressive win. Holding off a good horse that's running late.
Yeah, and as much as I dislike Madame Dancelot's race, I love New Money Honey's race. She laid off of it. They were going fast enough, 1:35, and ended up finishing in 59.4 for the 1.25 miles. That's a serious horse in a serious horse race. So I like that last race better from New Money Honey, better than the other filly.
Madame Dancelot. I'm with you.
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
It was just a more impressive, finished, stronger effort.
Yeah. All right, so Chad Brown might win another Grade 1 with New Money Honey in the Del Mar Oaks. Let's talk about the Alabama. This is always one of my favorite races on the calendar. A big Grade 1 up there at Saratoga. Here's Unchained Melody for trainer Brian Lynch. Nice win in the Grade 2 Mother Goose July 1st up there at Belmont. This is a good-looking 3-year-old filly by Smart Strike. Out of a Partners Hero mare, so that's a little local Maryland connection.
Yeah. Brian Lynch trains this filly, really impressive in the Mother Goose that we're watching here, but really didn't have any competition. Had a loose and early lead. They went fairly quick. They went 46 and 3 on the front end, but she didn't have much competition going forward, and should be the heavy favorite in here for Brian Lynch. I'm guessing Rosario might stay aboard.
I would think so, and you're absolutely right. Had everything her own way in the Mother Goose, and Rosario gave her a nice ride. But when you're in the driver's seat like that, it's really kind of hard to mess it up. But a nice filly, and look, she's 3 for 4 in life with a second, so she's clearly a nice filly. But she likes having it her own way.
Well, that was a Grade 2 win there in the Mother Goose. She better have her running shoes on this Saturday in the Alabama, because she's going to have to go up against a good 3-year-old filly by Go Sapper, Holy Helena. Let's show you her winning the Queen's Plate last out. This is a homebred here for Adena Springs in the Stronach Stables, trained by Jimmy Jerkins, ridden by Luis Contreras. This is a good-looking win here in the Queen's Plate up there at Woodbine. It's like one of their major races up there in Canada. I think this filly, Holy Helena, going to be a tough rival in the Alabama this Saturday.
It is. The Queen's Plate's the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, and it's open. So she went down there, beat the boys. I think there was one other filly in the race, and that's on the synthetic, though. The horse has won at Gulfstream on the dirt, but the last filly to win the Queen's Plate to run up at you see Frank Stronach there in the winner's circle, but the last filly to win the Queen's Plate and then run in the Alabama was Inglorious, who didn't run very well. So the surface change is always a big question.
The surface change, and you can't take anything away from Holy Helena. She beat the boys. She won the Queen's Plate, their version of the Kentucky Derby in all practical aspects. But you have to think about what was behind her, and they were pretty soundly beaten, 2:02 and change for a 1.25 miles. So the Alabama's going to be a tough task for her, but we wish her luck, and good luck, boss.
Should be a price.
Should be a price.
Yeah, I
no
think you'll
question
probably
about
get
it.
5, 6 to 1, and I like the good luck boss because you saw Frank in the winner's circle right there. Big smile on his face.
And I tell you what, Frank's big sire, Go Sapper, he's having a big-time year. He's on a roll with a bunch of Grade 1 winners, and he might have another one in the Alabama with Holy Helena. So we'll have to root on the house horse for sure. Great to see Go Sapper really taking off. Of course, your 2004 Breeders' Cup Classic winner, who's also Go Sapper by Awesome Again, right? It was also a Stronach horse that won the Breeders' Cup Classic. So Go Sapper continuing the strong breeding lines down there at Adena Springs with Holy Helena. Great show. That's a 20-horse rundown. That's a wrap.
Pretty good.
Did we miss anything?
Could we have? Is it at all possible?
I think we covered it all there with the 20-horse rundown from last weekend and all the big racing coming up to here this week. And we hope to see you out here at Laurel Park. It's going to be a fun Saturday. This Saturday, Maryland Pride Day, 4 stake races, 4 Maryland breds. We're going to have the Champions Handicapping Tournament. Lots of great food, lots of great Maryland drinks, Sagamore Spirit, Jailbreak, Flying Dog. Ty, what do you think the feature, other than horse racing, this Saturday is going to be out here?
The activities that are going on, Maryland Pride Day, obviously the horses are the main attraction and the gambling, but It should be fun out on the apron here.
All right, for all the information about Maryland Pride Day this Saturday and the Champions Handicapping Tournament this Saturday, go to laurelpark.com. We hope to see you out here out here this week and at Laurel Park. For Ty Ellis and Tim Tullock, I'm Stanton Salter. Good luck.